What is up, y'all? It is Jerry once again back from Team Unco Studios here at Casa Uncoordinated, ready for another MPC Beats very basic tutorial for you all using the MPC Beats 2 software. All right, so let's go ahead and start getting into using the sampler. You guys, I said I was going to make a video on how to use the sampler. Let's just jump right into it, okay? So, bam, if you take a look down onto my screen here, you'll notice I've just got, as usual, a nice blank template here. There's nothing on it, okay? So what I want to do today is I want to take something from my phone, right? So I've got a track here on my phone, Societal Punishment. That's one that we did at the recording studio. And I want to take sections of this song and I want to just use that sampled section, but I want that sampled section broken up, right? So I want to hear a little piece of this part and then a piece of this part and a piece of this part, okay? Well, we're going to use the sampler to do that, all right? And then we're going to chop up that sample and then we are going to put it on pads, okay? So let's jump right into how to do this, okay? So first thing we're going to need to do is get ourselves to the sampler and set our sampler up, all right? So up at your top toolbar window here, if you go all the way to that circle, okay, boom, you'll notice we are now on our sampler, okay? There's nothing in here, or there should be nothing in there if you open up a new project, okay? And you've got this kind of little, on our console window down here, you now have this little kind of arm record button here for our sample length and how long we want our sample length, okay? I just call this right here my sample recorder. You can call it whatever you want. I just call it my sample recorder, okay? So that's what I will refer to it as from here on out. All right, so next to my sample recorder, you'll notice is this little window here, okay? So what this window is it is where my audio is coming in through, okay? So I've got my Scarlett right here next to me plugged in, and I've got, this is my 8i6, right? So I've got 8 channels and 6 channels, ins and outs, right? And what I want to do is I want to get with a little small aux cable. I've got my aux coming from the bottom of my phone, and I have it running into a little, connector to a 1/4 inch that runs into input 2. Okay, and now I've got it running into the system, and you can see it here. So if I go a little bit play there, right, you can see, okay, I've got it running in. But the problem is you'll notice maybe the audio sounded a little funky. The reason why it is because if you notice right here, I've only got one side playing, okay? And the reason why is because I'm connected into the second input here on my Focusrite, okay? And it's probably set to stereo right now, and I don't want that. I don't want it to read 1 and 2. I want it to read just 2, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our little input window right there, if you see where I'm circling, and you'll notice this other little window pops up, okay? I'm going to zoom into the window there. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to mono, and all these channels and inputs pop up, right? And I'm going to go to input 2, and now you'll notice my vocal disappeared, right? You no longer can hear my voice there, right? But the cool part about this is that now when I play the sample, I got a nice left and right combo coming through, all right? So now that we've got our inputs set up, we're ready to go ahead and start getting a sample of this song, all right? So what we're going to do first, or what I'm going to do first, is I'm going to play the sample a couple of bars. I'm going to hit arm. I'm going to go for about 15 seconds, maybe 20 seconds, and then I'm going to stop, okay? During that time, not a lot is going to happen, all right? So just be aware of that, okay? So here we go. Okay, so as you could see there in the back, the transients of my sample have recorded, and this little keep or discard sample window has popped up. All right, so when this window pops up, the only thing right now that we are going to pay attention to is keep. There's a ton of different things you can do. For right now, keep is the one that we're going to pay attention to. The other thing we're going to pay attention to is right here where it says new sample, we are going to put SP samp. Okay, so we can identify what this is, and SP stands for Societal Punishment, which is the name of this song. So we're going to go keep, boink, and now here is our sample right here. Okay, so I've got now my sample in here, all right, and I'm ready to go. So the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sample now and I'm going to take it over to my sample edit window, which is here, okay? Now, if you remember from our chops video, how to chop this up, it's a very simple and easy way of doing this, all right? So to listen to the sample, we do not push play. We press the actual sample itself with our mouse, okay? So I'm gonna press the sample and you're gonna hear it play. Okay, so you can hear the sample playing there, right? Okay, when I let it go, it goes back to the starting by default, all right? Now, how do I chop this up and put little chops here so I can listen to different sections of this in a different order, right? The way that you're going to do that is you are going to use your little choppy window right here, okay? So if you notice down in our console where these little knobbies are up at the top, I've got 3 different windows here. And what I'm going to go to is chops, okay? Now, the way that chops works is once I trigger my first A1 pad here, the sample is going to start. Every pad after that exists after is going to be another chop line when I hit it, okay? So here we go, A1 pad. Okay, so I've got quite a few little chops here, right? This one here at the end was probably not necessary, right? So I think if you just kind of double click, there we go. Okay, so I can bring this one maybe over just a little bit here. Maybe this one over here. I kind of wanted these longer. There we go. Okay, so if now I go ahead and hit my slice 1 pad. Okay, you hear that? And again. Okay, very nice. And there's my second one, right? So now I can use these out of order. I can go from 1 to 3, right? Right? So now I've cut this little middle section out. And the cool part about doing chops like this is you can move these around. You can move them left and right if you want to. You can still do other things here. But this looks pretty good to me, and this seems like what I want. So the next step in this, if you've already followed through and you've already seen the chop videos and you know how to do it from here, that's awesome. You may continue on. But if you don't, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come down into my little chops, manual chops window here, right? This is where I edit all my chop stuff, okay? And I'm going to go to my non-destructive convert right here, and I'm going to go to new program, okay? And again, I've got my slice program. I've got everything here. It's saying this is it. This is your program. We're going to create this. Do you want this? And I'm going to say, do it. Now, if you have noticed in my little project window, a new program has opened up called SPSamp right here, okay? So now if I go to my programs, and actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go back home and let's go now stop here. Don't know why that's playing. And let's go into my program window here and let's go to SPSamp and voila, guess what? Exactly. So now what I can do is go and I can create another track, right? So now I can, let's say, create, let's go track 2 here. Okay. Create another track, go here. Okay. And if you noticed, my samp there by default was still in the track 2 window, right? So let me try it again here. So I'm going to go to track 2. Okay. You see that my SPSamp defaulted to the window there. So that's important, okay? I don't want it to do that. I want it to be this lo-fi kit here, right? So now I've got it onto the lo-fi kit, and now I'm going to add, I don't know, we'll go, I think that song was in 93 or something, right? So now if we just go, let's see, let's just throw some kicks out here. Okay, Shift R. Okay, just kind of giving you guys the basic here. Okay, so now I've got this little thing going here, right? I can turn this off. Let's just say this is the song I'm creating, okay? So now if I go back to my first here, okay, I've got this, and now I can go back to the first one and I can start playing my sample now over it. Here's SP samp over that, right? So here's this, right? So now I've got like sample with this going right at the same time. So go Shift R, here we go. Okay, it's a little bit off, but you guys get the idea, right? Then I would come in, figure things out, make things fit, right? Okay, so this is again just another way of trying to get your music created and using creative ways of doing it, okay? The only one thing I will warn about using samples is just be careful with copyright infringement. There's a lot of that happening lately. Just because you can use a sample for free does not necessarily mean it is free to use, right? I know that sounds weird. It kind of sounds like a double standard, but there's a lot of double standards in the music industry, okay? So just be aware of that. If you are going to use a sample, just be aware of what sample it is and how you're going to use it and in which way you are going to market the sample if that's what you choose to do, okay? All right, peace and love from all of us at Team Unco Studios, y'all, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Later.